Years ago, I said that, introduced myself in Paris by saying that I was the man who had accompanied Mrs. Kennedy to Paris. I'm getting that same sensation as I travel around Texas. Nobody wonders what Lyndon and I wear.
Camelot was a fact in those days.
I'm glad to be here in Jim Wright City.
Despite any kind of political rumblings in Dallas, Texas, people were friendly.
I'll put it on in the White House on Monday. If you'll come up there, you'll have a chance to see it then.
It became a beautiful spring day in November.
Just a beautiful break in the weather.
The presidential limousine will head west toward Dealey Plaza.
Hundreds of people gathered in.
The president's car is now turning onto Elm Street. Something has happened in the motorcade route.
There were 3 loud, reverberating explosions.
Something is terribly wrong.
3 bursts of gunfire.
I saw him grab at his throat, and I knew something was wrong.
The shot apparently came from a window in a building.
President Kennedy has been seriously wounded.
President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas.
That can't happen, but it did.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I seen all the stuff in the car. I knew from that he was dead.
There was my hero on the table. Unbelievable.
I assumed that whoever shot JFK probably killed himself.
The man I knew was Lee Oswald. I think he was a lot more intelligent than people gave him credit for.
I emphatically deny these charges.
I said, Lee, I hope if anybody shoots at you, they're as good a shot as you are.
There is Lee Oswald.
I saw this blur out of my peripheral vision, and then bam!
He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
I said, who is it? He said, Jack Leon Rubenstein. I said, what? He said, Jack Rubin.
He thought that public sentiment would get him off. He thought he could be a hero by killing the guy that killed JFK.
Well, a lot of people say this was the awakening of America. It's when we came to face certain facts. You know, we all thought that things like this couldn't happen in America in the last half century, but we found our sense that anything and everything can and often does happen.
The people couldn't have been friendlier. The crowds couldn't have been more wonderful, more generous in their reaction to the president. And I just had such a good feeling about the way they had received him in this city. I had just turned around and said to him, "You can't say Dallas doesn't love you, Mr. President." That was it.
A significant event in Fort Worth's aviation history. Formal groundbreaking for the giant new international airport between Fort Worth and Dallas was taken to the living rooms of thousands of homes through the medium of the Texas News. The TV audience saw publisher Amon Carter and other civic leaders turn the first dirt for one of the nation's largest airports.
I think it's a tremendous economic engine for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I don't know that the people who were kind of forced into agreeing to do Dallas-Fort Worth realize that.
Everybody knows the Amon Carter story, that if he went to Dallas, he would take a sack lunch because he'd be darned if he was ever going to spend a dime in Dallas.
We have the most convenient airport anywhere in the country.
Its facilities so far outstrip his pet over there in the cow pasture.
You need to figure that out amongst yourselves, and we're going to give you 180 days to do it, or we'll do it for you.
It was the first really big project that they had worked on and agreed on.
This area is a growing one, a large one, and needs a large, fine airport.
It made everybody happy, and it's been the largest economic boost to our entire region ever since.
We've got an airport bigger than the island of Manhattan.
I think the public should realize that we have a gem here, a jewel, that has given the Dallas-Fort Worth area and the Mid-Cities area the capability to compete on a global stage with any city in the world.
It's about $32 billion a year to the local economy.
You can fly to any international city, essentially, from here, or make connections to them. You can fly to any U.S. city in 4 hours or less.
By geographic accident, we're in a catbird position. We're also in a catbird position to be the gateway from Asia to Latin America.
By the end of this decade, we'll probably be serving 70 million customers a year. We're going to need more gates, and we're going to need a terminal left to handle that.
The real question is not, are you going to have that terminal? It's when.
In 40 years, you could see 100 million customers traveling through this airport. There's going to be, some winners on these global super hubs, and there's going to be some losers. And our focus is to make sure we're the winner.